and welcome to WomanVision TV. I'm your host, Nadia Giordana. I like to do a variety of fun and interesting things on the program. Much of the time that means I'll be interviewing one of the extraordinary women that I've met in my travels around town. Other times I'll be in the kitchen cooking up something interesting for you. And then again I might do something a little different. Today I have a guest, Betty Liedtke. Let's go talk to her. Hello and welcome to the show today, Betty. It's so nice to have you here.
Thank you, Nadia. It's good to be here.
Betty, why don't you start by telling us a little bit about you and some of the work you do and some of the projects that you're involved in.
Certainly. I am a writer, a speaker, a certified dream coach, and I'm the founder and CEO of Find Your Buried Treasure. What I do is help people see talents and strengths and skills that they don't even realize they have, and then I show them ways that they can use those inner strengths and skills to succeed in virtually anything they set their mind to doing. One of the interesting things is, while I can see so easily gifts in other people, and I don't think of that as a special skill, I think of it as a mom skill, but while looking at the gifts in other people and really going through a period of time when I was having trouble seeing my own, I started to feel very ordinary. And the next thing I knew, I was in Uganda. So that was a little out of the ordinary.
Well, excuse me. Uganda, what kind of work are you doing there? I'm fascinated by that. I've heard a little bit from a couple of other people, but I know very little. I want to hear more about that.
Thank you. I'm glad to share this because it's something that I had never imagined that I would be involved with. But it all started one day when I was giving a speech in my Toastmasters club, and we had a guest that day, a visitor who was actually from Uganda. She lives in Minneapolis now, but she was born and raised in Uganda. And she sent me a little note after my speech and said, "You will not believe how much you've inspired me. Can we talk after the meeting?" We did, and I quickly realized that she couldn't have been half as inspired by me as I was by her. And she talked about some of the things that she wanted to do in and for her native country, and it was fascinating. And we quickly became the best of friends, and before long we were planning a trip to Uganda together. While we were still planning that trip, we were here in the States, and I got a message from Tabitha one day, an email, and in it she included an article from a Ugandan newspaper, and it was about a place called Chimumbasa, which is a muddy, filthy slum not far from the capital city of Kampala. And there are fewer than 1,000 people that live there, but several hundred of them are prostitutes. And many of them are young girls who are selling themselves for the equivalent of 30 and 40 cents because that's the only way that they can survive and take care of their own children. And when she sent me the email and the article, Tabitha included a note and said, "When we go to Uganda, you and I need to go and visit this place." And we did. When we did, our hearts just broke, and we fell in love with these girls. So many of them, they were beautiful young girls with sweet, shy smiles, but absolutely nothing to smile about, and they were trapped in this life of poverty and prostitution. And we spent some time visiting with them, and when we left, we knew that we had to do something for them, something to get them out of there. And our plans and our dreams turned into what we started calling a miracle village. We wanted to build a miracle village of hope and healing for these girls. And as we looked at different things that they would need and that we wanted to do, that dream grew, along with God was sending angels into our lives, and there were a number of people who came with other ideas and plans and things that we could do. We want to, first of all, get them physically out of there and into a safer, more pleasant environment, and we would like to help them get an education, them and their children, and get health care that they needed, health care plus medical attention for all the physical and emotional injuries that had been inflicted on them. And along with that, spiritual counseling, and most important, skills training, and not just skills to do other work, but job opportunities. Uganda is one of the poorest countries in the world, but it is so rich in fertile land and agricultural opportunities and so many other things. And so we've been exploring ever since different things that we can do and ways that we can help the girls. We've been back there several times. Tabitha's been there a few more times. Her family still lives there, and they're part of our team when we're in Uganda. And so there's still so much left to do, but we've really come a long way, and it's frustrating for us because we just want to get them out of there and into a better life. But we realized early on that we gave them hope. They knew right away that we meant what we said, and we wanted to help them, and we weren't going to abandon them as so many people have done. They said that many people come in and say they want to help, they're going to do something, and then they leave and they never hear from them again. So they have hope now, which is something that they never had before, and that's a wonderful thing we've been able to give them, but it's not nearly enough. It's just the start.
Well, this is such a big project and such a monumental task. Is there funding for this, or is there other support? How did you manage several trips, and how much progress is being made?
There are a lot of questions in there. Remind me if I miss one. I need to get back to it. First of all, about the funding, it's pretty much been individuals and small organizations. A number of people have told us that there's a great deal of funding available for this, and we've pursued that to some degree. In a way, it's a catch-22 situation because so many grants and sources of funding, they're there for exactly this kind of thing. But they need to see something first. They've got to see some of the results you have and the long-range plans and everything. And neither one of us had ever really done anything like this before. So we're just learning as we go along and relying on wonderful other people to help us. And we know that once it gets started and gets going, and we hope to have the funding and the resources we need. And everyone that hears about it is really enthusiastic about it, but that still doesn't help us at on the ground floor level. So we're still in those early stages.
And you're still getting some volunteer help from people who are helping you?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, very much so.
Well, how are the girls responding to the program so far?
Oh, they are responding wonderfully. As I said, it was a source of frustration for us early on, and I know when Tabitha made another trip back there, once in between the trips that we went, and she said, I want to take things to them. I want to have a place for them to go. I want to be able to show them something solid. And it was frustrating that we didn't have that. But when she came back, she said, Betty, you will not believe the difference in these girls, just by what they know, what they've seen, and what they're looking forward to. So we've been able to take some things for them, just some donated clothing and some supplies, mostly for their children, for you know, diapers for the babies and clothes for the little ones. But there's still so much to do. But they have hope, and they love us. Tabitha has become mommy to all these girls, and they really look upon her and both of us as a source of strength and hope.
I guess hope is the key word here. You've given those girls hope, and you'll be able to build on that. What would you say is the message you want to convey to the people that you're helping, the girls that you're helping, and to the viewers and those of us who are just hearing your story for the first time?
Oh, there I could go. So many things on that. I don't know where to begin. One of the messages that we want the girls to have, and I think they've received, is that nothing is as hopeless as it seems, and they really are living in such dire straits and such a hopeless situation. But they have an inner strength that they don't even realize, and they all have such loving thoughts of each other, and they're so concerned for their children, their families. What I would love for them to know is that it is going to change, and they have the strength within them, and with help from others, they will be able to get out of that situation and into a much better life. And what we also hope that they will see, and again, I think many of them already do, that once they can escape from this situation, they can be an inspiration to other people, because sadly, prostitution, sex trafficking, these are serious, serious problems all over the world, and not just in developing nations or poor countries. It's really everywhere. And so when people see that they can get out of that life that they've been trapped in, and it's poverty that brings out so much of this, but they will be able to have better lives. They'll be able to give better lives to their children and their families, and they will be able to inspire and encourage other people that they will be able to do this as well. For the people hearing the story, so many of us here in the United States are very generous and donate to many causes. And I know sometimes I wonder, well, what's this going for? Is this really going to do any good? And it really does. I've been not only in Mombasa, but in different areas of Uganda where we've donated supplies and equipment and clothing that people here have donated. And I feel a little guilty being the one who's there, being able to give these things to other people, when it was people back here who made the sacrifice of donating and giving them. But they are so much appreciated and loved. And people really connect with others from around the world when you've got something that connects you. And so I would like everyone here to know that anything you do in any way really does make a difference.
It does, it does. And if someone out there wants to find your website or get in touch with you, what do they need to know?
My website is www.findyourburiedtreasure.com. And the work that we're doing in and about Uganda is through Tabitha's nonprofit, which is African Missions Outreach Organization. So we can be reached through there, and donations can come through there as well. Of course, we hope to see.
Absolutely. Well, thank you, Betty, for being here today.
It's my pleasure.
It's been a pleasure for me, too.
Thank you, Nadia.
Thank you.